Ghanatube sunye and sama air koso ewo on my new aha and I was ebekanina mother for snowy my science of atanasi. It is some air ko eba eje ebra send a matana city na we see a quaco j and send eje aba ebusia for a bar na matwaswamo.
Cybersecurity experts and analysts are raising serious concerns about the reported hack of the X-account of President John Dramani Mahama. We've got some details for you and how things have unfolded. The conversation tonight is about what to do next. That is what we're going to concern ourselves with, about the hack of the president's account here on Ghana Tonight. This is one that got a number of you talking, and then also the concerns that have been raised so far. We would have a conversation on this here on Ghana Tonight. And this, all of this started, at least we here at TV3 started monitoring this particular activity, unusual activity on the account of President John Dramani Mahama. That news that the president's that's previously Twitter account had been hacked or compromised. It's one that generated a lot of concern and varied reactions, and rightly so. As of Sunday night, we here at TV3 saw this. The first tweet that was put out on John Mahama's official X account at JD Mahama was this: Ghana is leading the way for Africa's fintech sector by making payments fast and free across the continent with support from Solana and the Bank of Ghana. Take note of this: Solana and the Bank of Ghana through the Solana Africa project. We look forward to other African nations joining us soon. Support Solana Africa by purchasing Solana Africa meme coin. And this is where we saw that, look, there's something wrong somewhere. Now, this was as of Sunday night. We saw this. Then we started asking questions as to whether the president is indeed endorsing this Solana Africa payment platform. It's more like a blockchain technology using cryptocurrency for that matter. And look, when we got onto the Solana website, because they attached the website to this, you see that, learn more on solanaafrica.com. We clicked on solanaafrica.com, and this is what we found. They defined the project as a project that was led by President John Mahama to make payments across Africa free using the Solana blockchain. The project includes the launch of a new meme coin called Solana Africa, helping to boost digital payments and so on. And then they talk about free transactions. And then there was a page dedicated to the Bank of Ghana by these hackers. They say the Bank of Ghana will play a key role in facilitating payments across the country through the Solana blockchain. By partnering with Solana Africa, it will enable fast, secure, fee-free transactions for Ghanaian citizens and everyone in Africa. This is it. Very well planned, okay? And if you go on that site, this was what you would find. And we still had no communication as of the time. And all of this we found as of around 11 p.m., almost crossing into the midnight of Monday. That was yesterday. We found this information on that Solana Africa website. Fast forward into Monday, then we saw another post by the hackers or the persons who compromised the president's X account. They put another one. Exciting announcement coming today. Solana Africa will be the backbone of Africa's fintech. And all of this was from John Mahama's official X handle. And that was a follow-up on what had been posted on Sunday night. So then we started reaching out. In fact, continuously to persons within government. We got the information that, look, this is not coming from John Mahama. He hasn't endorsed this Solana Africa. They don't know anything about it. So then we needed official communication to put matters to rest, because this is the number one gentleman of the land, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Whatever goes on his social media handle is considered as news, is considered as something that would be authentic, okay? And so you would have other persons launching on it. And especially because this administration has been very heavy on social media. Upon the inception of President Mahama into office as President of the Republic of Ghana, we've seen official communication put out on his social media handles. Phyllis Kwatiofosu, the Minister in charge of Government Communication, also leverages social media a lot. We've seen a number of the ministers, Samuel Nate George and others, who put out official communication on their social media handles because they are embracing technology and the new way of communicating, not just through press statements. So we looked there. But then again, we got this information from the Cybersecurity Authority. They issued this statement yesterday. In fact, in the early hours of this morning, beg your pardon, they put out this statement today, March 18th. That's what you see there. Cybersecurity Authority statement on compromise of President Mahama's X, that's formerly Twitter account. In the early hours of Monday, March 17, the Cybersecurity Authority received a report concerning the compromise of John Mahama's X account at JD Mahama. The account has been used to promote a cryptocurrency called Solana Africa. We understand the public concern in this incident has generated and are actively addressing the situation. The authority is working closely with X and other relevant stakeholders to address this. And they said they're going to give us some further updates as of this morning when this statement came out. Then fast forward, John Mahama, at least his official account, tweeted again a few hours ago that my team has restored my account working with the X support team. Thank you for your inquiries and offers to assist. So this is the latest to all of this. The account has been recovered. But then again, there are many who are looking at it and saying, good news, account has been recovered, but we need to think about the way forward so it doesn't happen again. That's where the conversation is going right now. And I want you to read this. Let's put this on the screen right now. It clearly tells you what the next phase of this conversation is going to be. Dr. Edward Anson is joining us on Zoom right now. He is a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana, head of Cybersecurity Lab at the Department of Computer Science at the University of Ghana, Legon. Dr. Edward Anson, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. And I took time to run through at least what we monitored from late hours of Sunday into this morning, and then the latest we have. The account has been recovered, but then again, looking at the sequence of events, does this raise some concerns for you?
Thank you very much for the question. In actual fact, this particular incident, not something that is actually occurring in isolation. There has been a number of such notable incidents where a technical account takeover, this type of attack is what we call as account takeover. And it's usually targeted at people with high followers, people who are influential. For instance, in the year 2020, I think, Barack Obama, Elon Musk, Joe Biden, Bill Gates all suffered a similar fate on their Twitter or X accounts. You know, and this has not actually stopped, and it keeps reoccurring, even though more stringent measures have been used to be able to ensure that such kinds of hacks do not occur. But yes, sometimes as a result of, as it were, people not being extra vigilant, and then probably using the same device to be checking on other, social media accounts and performing other activities and so on and so forth, all could lead to such a situation where, such account takeovers could happen.
But Dr. Danson, if you could also just sit up a bit for me. You said that this is not a case in isolation. You referenced other world leaders and also influential persons who have also suffered this kind of a hack or a compromise of their social media accounts. But the concern here is that, I mean, let's bring it home. This is the President of the Republic of Ghana who values communication through social media. And by extension, his government, we've seen elements within his administration also leverage social media as a means of communicating to the Ghanaian people, apart from the traditional medium of communication as well, television, radio. So that's where the issue is. And I want us to look at it in that context so that people would go or would have gone onto this page and clicked on that link to the website of this said Solana, which happens to be a hacked account, blockchain technology, and would even start having conversations on the back of that. It took 48 hours for this hack to be rectified or addressed, and for the president's account to be recovered. So that's where the concern is it not?
This keeps all of us worried, because if the first gentleman of the land could suffer such a fate, then that alone should tell you how serious this particular incident is. Because for the president of the land, the first gentleman of the land, it is expected that much more safer and secure channel will be used in sharing some of these kinds of content and information. And for the president's social media handle to suffer such an incident, it's a big thing. And I know that this story has run through to all the international media satellites and everything, because for a president to suffer this never happened before. But for years ago or years back, we saw a similar thing happening, and we thought that a lot more of education and training has gone into it to ensure that such thing does not reoccur. So for a platform such as this to end up suffering or going through a similar attack clearly tells us that the handlers of the president's social media account would have to go through some level of training, some level of protocols to be used and all of that. Because you and I know that for people who are highly influential and all that, and looking at the tons of messages that usually comes daily, and to be able to respond to them timelessly and so on and so forth, would require a whole team. So there's a team that is responsible for handling the president's social media account, which we believe that is the case. So for such a situation to happen, I believe that those individuals have to go through the training, the protocols, and so on and so forth. There are simple, policies that we need to put in place. Typical example is that, such devices or such handles should not be made to be connecting to several other private, accounts and so on, because it is through such a channel where suspicious links are shared, sometimes just to be able to compromise the individual who has access to the platform, to be able to, as it were, carry out their nefarious, activity. The other example is that the use of the multi-factor authentication scheme is also one of the very critical things that we also need to undertake, also to ensure that people do not hijack or take over their accounts, and and several other protocols and policies that we in cybersecurity usually follow. For instance, you cannot use such handles or devices to connect to a public Wi-Fi. There are several other things that we can also discuss in order to ensure that there is much more safety with such kind of information. Because just imagine if this has not been such an ad that was placed there, but something that could have actually caused the national security threat. And you can imagine what would have happened, because everyone knows that that is the president's official social media account. So if any information is posted out there, then it is all believed that it is as it has been, posted on the handle. So I think the Cybersecurity Authority, the Cybersecurity Advisor to the President now, and all other individuals that are associated with the President's, not just the social media handles, but also their network infrastructures, their internet and Wi-Fi, infrastructure needs to really set up and then see to it that such reoccurrence does not happen, and the measures and the training that people have to undergo or undertake to be able to avoid such a mishap ever occurring must be really put in place.
But for the Cybersecurity Authority, what should be their thinking going forward, especially because it's not just about the president, but the government machinery itself? We see the minister in charge of government communication also use social media a lot in putting out information, statements and others to the public. So what should be the thinking, expanding that scope of what do you call this safety measures and firewall beyond just the president?
Yes, I am aware that the Cybersecurity Authority under the Ministry of Communication has a budget for education and and for publicity, educating the general public about the dangers of cyber security related threats and attacks and so on and so forth. And there has been incident that has happened that has institutions, states among others. So the best thing to do, which they usually have as part of their plan for the year and so on, has to do with, first of all, the education, publicity, going from institutions to institutions, radio and TV adverts and communication, trying to tell people about the dangers of, such kind of attacks and threats. So just as I actually mentioned, this is a very serious case because this is the president of the land, and if we are unable to provide him with a level of protection that he deserves to be able to make information flow available to all of us, because the protocols of most heads of states, they won't be seen to be talking to the ordinary people on the ground and so on. That's how come social media has become the platform to be able to send such information and so on. And even the mainstream broadcasting like TV3 and so on sometimes even make stories out of such social media accounts, because it is believed to be coming directly from the president, from the ministers of state and so on. So if, for instance, there are information that has been posted out there that is of national security threats, you can imagine the level of pandemonium and other things that would actually happen. Or even if it has to do with the stock market or the industry or the economy and all of that, you can imagine how this could have even caused inflation. Just recently, when we even saw Google having a glitch on their exchange rate currency, and then all of a sudden the CD fell to 8 CDs and then had to jump back and all of that. Do you know what this could have actually happened if this glitch had not been fixed within that shortest stipulated time? These are all very high.
And that's where the concern is, in fact, and you expand the scope of the threat to so many other areas, which clearly the Cybersecurity Authority should be also averting their minds to. But I appreciate your recommendations and your thoughts on this. I thank you so much. Dr. Edward Ansong is a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana, head of the Cybersecurity Lab at the Department of Cybersecurity, that's the Department of Computer Science, I beg your pardon, at the University of Ghana, Legon.
Я-hocking and some about with major comment or comment section on my major brain, not making kind na at our wonderful snowy and I was not say a day and some no a burn. Ah, a Ghana tube, so see,